Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to take some time and talk about some recent outrage over the topic of fan service as it exists in various forms of media, whether it's anime or video games. Now we're going to start with the biggest topic of conversation in this video, and is the fact that this particular scene from One Piece was finally animated. Now I say that scene because the manga panels that this scene is based on is very popular. Even people who are not familiar with One Piece have probably come across a certain set of manga panels. Those manga panels feature mainly the entire cast of One Piece visiting a bathhouse where there is a great deal of fan service and gratuitous shots that show off the bodies of the characters. Now, anyone who is slightly aware of this franchise knew at some point that manga panel, that set of manga panels, would be animated and included in the anime, and that finally happened the other day. And now we have a situation where there is a great deal of fan service in this set of shots featuring characters like Yamato and much more, and it's left some portions of the One Piece fandom in a very difficult situation where they're having a genuine existential crisis over this scene because it features not only fan service but also some lolicon related themes that they normally demonize and harass others for consuming. And now, what do you think? Do you think when confronted with this reality that they're going to become more self-aware and that they're going to realize that these weird acts of fan service are included in the same sort of media that they regularly consume? Well, of course not. And while those people might be very angry about this set of fan service, a lot of the fans of One Piece are simply eating good. And you can eat good too with the help of today's sponsor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Giga Chads over at HelloFresh have returned to sponsor this video. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use my code POGREVOCT16 to get 16 free meals plus free shipping. Offers for new subscribers only, varies by plan across 9 boxes. Now, what is HelloFresh? It is a trusted meal delivery service that'll save you time and money by bringing fresh, ready-to-make meals to your doorstep. Look, you're busy. You have anime girls to look at, official Rev Fumos to snuggle, and so on and so forth. You don't have time to go to the grocery store. The answer to this dilemma is the convenience that HelloFresh offers as you pick through their dozens of meal options that are updated with the latest and greatest recipes every single week, accompanied by easy-to-follow instructions to put it all together. I love HelloFresh because they not only offer delicious meals, but they also offer high-protein and diet-conscious meal options for people like me who want to maximize their gains at the gym. Look, I'll be honest with you guys, I never thought I could cook, but HelloFresh makes me look like Gordon Ramsay with their easy-to-follow instructions. Again, use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use my code POGREVOCT16 to get 16 free meals plus free shipping. Honestly, with an offer like that, what do you got to lose? Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Now let's jump back into the content. Okay, so welcome back. When it comes to the outrage stemming from this recent scene from the One Piece anime, there's a lot of hypocrisy and really wild reactions. So we're going to start with this one right here saying, I literally hate One Piece so much because of this, and it's my favorite anime. Like, there is nothing more cringe than this other than Sanji in Fishman Island. So the fact that this is what broke your view of One Piece is very strange, because if you were such a fan, if it was your favorite anime of all time, you should have probably checked out the manga series that it's based upon. And if you knew or were familiar in any way with the manga series, you would have known these sorts of shots were coming in the anime. And also, not to mention the fact that One Piece is already littered with fan service. That's the irony here for a lot of these accounts. This isn't the first time they've ever had fan service. There's plenty of it throughout the One Piece anime. I mean, who can forget the volleyball scene, for example? But moving on, of course, people are going to start making comments like this. This stuff is weird, with a lot of support, by the way, under tweets sharing this new scene from the anime. And of course, this person saying, Oda, why are you weird? Acting like this is a complete 180 on Oda's content when this sort of fan service has always been included in the franchise. But it goes beyond just weird. We all know that people aren't going to simply say this is weird and move on with their lives. They're going to go to the next level. And that next level is making outrageous allegations and threats, including ones like this saying, you damn degenerate. You and the Toei storyboard for this scene need to be jailed. That's right. This person believes that everyone involved in the process of making this scene should be put to jail for what they've done. Moving on, we have another comment right here saying this show has Epstein particles all over it. I don't know if I've ever seen a more terminally online message and accompanying tweet in my entire life, but I'm hardly surprised with how Twitter acts that these words would come from a real human being. But of course, you also predicted that pretty predictably that Oda would receive more threats. This person threatening, I guess, anyone who likes this, saying, we're going to game end you. This person saying, Oda, we're going to game end you, which once again, we see more threats directed towards Oda from Western fans. We saw this with the whole Yamato debate. Any sort of original material coming from Oda that had a certain narrative attached to it was met with threats from a certain section of Twitter. But of course, you have more comments generally speaking like this. Toei Animation, I don't think I can defend you anymore because WTF is this. And it's like, first of all, Toei Animation does not need you to defend them. And also, if you need to defend yourself from whether it's your friends or fellow One Piece fans because of consuming this scene, I don't really know what your situation is, but it sounds like a pretty miserable one. It doesn't sound like these people really are fans of the franchise or anime in general if they're so appalled by a scene like this. But moving on, we also had some very unhinged reactions from some of the bigger One Piece stan type accounts. This one is crazy. It says, I can't defend Sanji anymore. I don't even think I can call myself a fan of his character at this, to be honest. This is so pathetic. Now, Sanji in that scene has a classic anime trope, and that's a nosebleed when he sees Yamato enter the men's bathhouse. And of course, this person is somehow saying that they will no longer support this character. Treating a fictional character like they're a real person and holding them up to these standards is absolutely wild, by the way. But it is funny to see these kind of reactions to a simple fan service scene that anyone who's familiar with One Piece knew was going to be animated at some point. But moving on, let's talk some more about some fan service outrage. So you guys might have remembered earlier this year, the Resident Evil 4 remake was released, and it contained a lot of censorship, in particular, anything to do with the character Ashley. In the original version of the game, there was upskirt shots and other acts of fan service. Almost all of those were completely removed in this remake, and that was met with a lot of controversy. Well, this has continued because some fans are still angry about this kind of stuff. So recently there was a third-party figure based on Ashley that was released, and a lot of people got really angry about it. And I think this tweet and the reactions or the replies that came with it really sum up the outrage that stems from this whole situation. So this account shows a picture of the Ashley figure with very minor fan service, by the way, saying, "What the F is this?" with over 1,000 likes. And down here they say, "We need to get rid of men, actually." Now, when they say get rid of men, I'm pretty sure they're not including the character Leon because their entire account is dedicated to the character Leon from Resident Evil. But nonetheless, we see this sort of tweet every once in a while with certain figures, including anime characters, where there is a third-party fan service type figure of a character and people will post a picture of it on Twitter, and a lot of Twitter users will go absolutely insane over that sort of figure. You know, the usual insults, you can probably predict what those are. But nonetheless, we have to do the usual here. Your likes are public. This is an example of the character Leon in a very skimpy maid outfit with a dog aesthetic here. Clearly, they don't have an issue using fan service when it comes to the character Leon, but they do when it involves the character Ashley. And here's just their profile picture, okay? Just their profile picture and their description. Their whole account is dedicated to Leon, and all of it highly sexualized, by the way. Everything they retweet and they like, highly sexualized versions of the character Leon. And of course, it just begs the question, how does this not make you a hypocrite if you're upset about that figure of Ashley being a bit sexualized because of the fan service? But nonetheless, moving on to another remake in the process. So there's been a lot of talk for some time now about the remake of the cult classic Lolipop Chainsaw. Now, the big concern involving this is how will the developers of this remake treat the fan service of this game? Because the main character, Juliet Sterling, is very sexualized. I mean, but the irony, of course, in this game is, well, will they remove the fan service in the remake and leave the gore and violence? Because it's funny to see people so concerned about the fact that this adult main character is wearing a cheerleading outfit. They're much more concerned about that than they are the fact that she cuts people in half with a chainsaw. Like, it's so weird how one is so demonized and people are so concerned about, but the other, they're completely silent about. But nonetheless, we got this tweet about a month ago from one of the developers saying, we will make an uncensored Juliet costume to meet your expectations. We've seen similar tweets like this coming from this account, basically implying that they're not going to change any of the outfit designs of Juliet, which is a big deal for a lot of people looking forward to this remake. However, we got some big news the other day regarding this project. So Lolipop Chainsaw was changed from a remake to a remaster. Now, that is an interesting change, basically meaning that there's going to be a lot less changes, more just polishing what already exists. And once again, we have one of the developers confirming this. And yeah, that's where we stand on this. I think a lot of people have seen this as a win. This is very divisive. A lot of people are angry about this. A lot of people are very happy about this. The reason people are happy about this is because when it comes to a remake, there's often a lot less changes, When there's a remaster, there's a lot less changes than a remake. Remake means they're going to go back and change some of the content, do things like that. Remaster is just polishing. And that is a lot less likely to change things like fan service, outfits, and anything relating to that. But that is the update for this remaster of Lolipop Chainsaw. Now, moving on, we have some more interesting story here to look at. This is something that you might look at this and be like, what's going on? Why are there so many quotes on this tweet promoting whatever project this is? Well, when you translate it into English, we have a situation where a very popular, somewhat older eroge is being remade, but in a crowdfunding effort. And in this case, what they want to do is take this adult game and make it into an all-ages project, which is very, very strange, right? Why are you taking an existing media that was catered towards adults and now changing it to something that is for all ages? How does that make any sense? Why not just make a new game at that point? And going on, the English translation will release later, and they want to expand on the project and create a new environment and all these things and blah, 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 to increase their audience. I guess in their attempt to broaden their general net of people they can attract into their franchise, they want to make it all ages, which is very, again, it's strange because you have a product that was successful because it was aimed towards adults, and now you're trying to completely 180 its content in order to make it more appealing to a bigger market, which seems like when you're going to try, instead of trying to appeal to the target audience, now you're trying to appeal to everyone, and now it's just going to backfire because nobody's going to want it. And again, just make a new game. It's a very strange phenomenon we're seeing where a lot of remakes and remasters are now being made for all ages as opposed to the original audience that consumed the original product. And it's just one of those things where it's like ratings on games and the original target audience is losing all meaning. Like, I'm not even talking about ESRB type ratings. I'm saying, like, when it comes to Twitter and these developers, they no longer view things as like M for mature. Because we have people on Twitter getting angry about mature themes existing in mature rated games. It makes absolutely no sense. They're getting mad about something that is expected based on the rating of the game. But nonetheless, that was a lot of talk about fan service and the related outrage today. I appreciate you guys listening to this video. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.